Cafe Chronicles.
Hey,
How's it going?
All
Thanks for
right.
having us, Ted.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we got Cody Cohoon.
Hey.
All right,
That's
and then
Nice to meet you.
yeah,
Sorry.
and Cam Wilson.
Yeah.
All right.
And Ted. And we got Ted,
And
too.
Ted, yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Cody, what is your position here at Music Hall?
Ted, I have several positions here.
Yeah.
I am the head carpenter. I am the union steward, as well as the technical director.
Okay. Is technical director encompass all those, or are they all
No,
separate?
they're different. They're different. And as a matter of fact, technical director and union steward are usually like a yin and yang to each other. So it's interesting that one person could be both.
Okay. Huh. All right.
It's fun. Sometimes I got to kind of battle with myself, to figure out what the right thing is to do for everyone involved. But I feel like I do a good job sometimes.
Yeah.
Trying not to give anybody an advantage either way, trying to be fair, know what the union's expecting. And I got a pretty good idea of what the music hall is expecting as well. So.
Okay. How long have you been here?
So I was here as an extra throughout 2010, 2020, through that decade. But it wasn't until after COVID that I started as the electrician. So 2021
Okay.
was full-time here.
Okay. All right. And then Cam,
Yes.
you've got some history with Music Hall.
I do a little bit.
Yeah.
Cody's been here a little bit longer than me, actually. So Cody used to have my job. I'm the lighting director and the stage electrician here now. That's what Cody used to do before me.
Right. Right. But I
my
guess
job
by
sounds a little bit
history,
cooler.
yeah. But I guess by history, I meant in the family. Correct?
Yeah. So I'm a fourth generation IATSE union stagehand, proudly. My dad has been a member for almost 40 years or something like that. And then my grandfather was our locals BA for 19 or 20 years like that. And then my great-grandfather was also in the union. So it goes down the bloodline. I got cousins that work for us now. There's a ton of us. So
Most of his friends.
I got
jobs.
friends that work for
Yeah.
us now. So it's definitely something that
That's great.
Nepotism. In our
Yeah.
business,
Nepotism?
that word means something. Yeah.
it does. It's became like half my personality
That's
now at this
great.
point.
And you guys love your jobs, right?
Yeah.
Most
I mean,
of the
yeah.
time,
we have a lot of
yeah.
fun, man. It's
Oh, I can
definitely a
tell.
unique career. you
Yeah.
know?
Love is the word too, man. It's
Yeah.
something that just consumes you sometimes,
Yeah.
Right.
which is nice.
Every time I go back there, you guys seem like you're having a blast.
We do.
Yeah.
We do for the most part. Me and him get along really good. Cody's been a great boss to work for, and there's a balance between doing a good job and being serious, and then also having fun while you're working. And
Yeah.
I think we do that pretty good here. So
Ted, I think a lot of the fun we have is due to the dynamic of the crew we have here, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So 5 department heads, right, are typically how we do shows. They're always here. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so the 5 of us, between us, right, we have such a range from 24 to 62.
25. I'm 25. He always does this.
Okay.
From 19 to 62, we have it all, right?
Okay.
There's mixed races. We have,
Yeah.
3 of us are Caucasian, 2 of us are African American. It's
Okay.
and I think it's amazing to see how well we all mesh and just the range of things we could talk about
Yeah.
and do. It's
That's what America's about,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, baby.
yeah.
Yeah, we have a great crew here. Like he's saying, to Amp and E, our propsmen and our flymen, they've been in the business for, I think E's been in for, like 20, 25 years or something?
I think they're both
Amp-
around 20 years. I think
Yeah,
they both,
Amp too.
although they're different ages, I think they both have about 20 years experience.
Yeah.
Okay. And for our listeners and our viewers, we're talking about Local 38, right?
Yeah.
Union.
So IATSE, Local 38, International Alliance of Stage and Theatrical Employees and Motion Picture Technicians.
Okay. Now, can you explain what Local 38 means and what does that encompass?
I mean, so IATSE, we're a Detroit local of IATSE, and we work at not just the music hall. So
That's what
we're department heads at the music hall. So we're not necessarily full time here, but we work all of the jobs here. And then if there's bigger jobs like supplemental labor, will be brought on to help us, set up shows and tear them down and stuff. But we also work for several different employers around the city. So like the Fox Theater, the Fillmore, Comerica Park, Detroit Symphony Orchestra, the Opera House, Cobo Hall or Huntington Place, the convention centers. And then if movies, like big motion pictures come into town, if we get contracts for those, we'll work on those as well. I actually I've never worked on a movie. He has. I kind of came in after the big movie boom.
Right.
But
I remember that boom. Yeah.
yeah.
So if there's a show on the same day at the Fox that there is here, how does that work?
So
we around about 250 to 350 people we have in rotation in the city to cover all these venues and stuff.
Okay.
As well as we're heads at the music hall. They have them at the Fox. They have them at the Little Caesars.
But as heads, you need to be here.
Right.
This is our first priority, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when time permits, we do go other places.
Gotcha.
Pretty
All right.
frequently.
Yeah, so if we're not, like, let's say we're not working tomorrow and, you know, the union needs us, our call steward will call us and say, hey, can you go here and work this job or do this? Depending on your skills and experience and stuff, they send you to various locations and various jobs and stuff. So it's pretty cool because when we're not working here, every day is kind of different. You know, every day is a different job, a different employer. Some shows might be a one-day thing, and then another time you might be working on the same show for 2 weeks, setting up a big production or something like that. So.
Yeah. And it's always different, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, like what you're doing. I mean,
for sure. On a show-by-show basis.
Because you're a lighting director, right? That's your title?
Right. Here at the music hall, I'm the lighting director. I'm trying not to get too close to the mic and like,
Sorry.
burp into it or something. But here I'm the lighting director and the stage electrician, so I most of the time I operate the lighting boards here and design like how the lights are being hung and what lights look like for certain shows, unless a lot of bigger name artists will come in with their actual roadie crew, with a touring crew. So not every show will I run the lights here, but that's the main thing I do here. And then, I mean...
But it's not always just that, right? There's like, if a different show calls for a different...
Right, yeah, it's
You know
a
what I
little
mean?
bit departmentalized as far as when you're heads at a theater, but at the same time, we're all a team. Like, we're all a family. We do everything. If Cody says, go do this, like, I'm not going to say no and, you know, not go do it. We all help each other and kind of cross departments a little bit. So
Yeah, so the thing is, Ted, is when you become a specialty like Cam with lights and stuff, he kind of does get stuck doing lights a lot everywhere he goes, whether he's running a console or whether he's just helping install. You do kind of get caught into things where you can become an expert at them and do them repeatedly, but at the same time you do need to be well-rounded, you know, as I mean, we're stagehands first, which means we do so many different things,
Right.
And we all go through with what's really cool about IATSE is we have an actual apprenticeship program that all of our members go through, and it's a 2-year program, and you take like 12 classes, I think, and then you actually have to go out and take master classes too. So there's classes in production electricians, there's audio classes, there's rigging classes, there's lighting classes, stage carpentry. You know, it's been a minute, so I can't remember like all the classes right now. But the whole point is that we try to be well-rounded. So even though I'm a lighting guy, like if I get sent on a different job, I should know how to, you know, to do
that makes
a lot
sense.
of stuff. So
Right. Yeah.
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 You know.
Yeah, and like a lot of things, if you want to stay working, you got to be skilled.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Plus, I mean, the shows you do. I mean, you say you know, you work on movies or, you know, dance or plays or, you know,
Yeah.
music. You know, so that's got to be, you know, exciting. It's got to keep you interested, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're doing different things, right?
Yeah, you know, after enough time passes, it's just the job, but it is exciting. It is exciting. You know, it's hard to say, though, because if we're doing this all the time, we hardly can compare it to somebody who's doing a monotonous job where they're the same place, same time, you know, but it's got its advantage. It's got advantages.
It's definitely not a normal 9 to 5, you know. We're
Right.
not working and sleeping normal hours like most people, but you kind of adapt to that and you get used to that, and it's
you
pretty
know,
cool.
what gets me, Ted, is loadouts, right? You know, when you're young, you're so excited to get up at 10 o'clock at night and come work for a couple hours, you know. But as you get older, loadouts become a little bit more just pain in the butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I got a family. I'm
You
at
just
home.
want to get home.
Yeah, I'm doing family stuff. Kids are going to sleep. Wife's going to sleep. Wait a second. I got to go back to work at 10:30 at night, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that it's tough to get used to.
And a lot of people don't realize, too, like, especially like larger shows and larger bands and stuff. Like, if you're someone who goes to see a concert at like a big arena like Little Caesars Arena or Ford Field or something, and you're going to see the Rolling Stones, right? A lot of times for shows that are gigantic like that, there's a crew of anywhere from 200 to 300 of us, maybe more, that are there from 5 in the morning until 5 in the morning the next day because we're setting it up all day and there's a ton of stuff. I mean, on Taylor Swift at Ford Field, I think is like 75 or was like 75 semi trucks of stuff. You can only fit so many on the field at once and unload so many at once. People have to eat and take breaks and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's not uncommon to work, you know, an 18-hour or 24-hour shift sometimes. We don't do that a lot or all the time, but there are a lot of days like that. And that can get a little stressful, but it's fun, too. Like, the whole time you're there, you're like, all right, I'm here. You're committed. You're having fun. You're seeing the show. So, you know, it's definitely, it can be a little rough, but it's fun. So, I don't know. I can't complain.
Yeah.
You know.
I get it. I mean, you know, what I do here, you know, it's kind of, I got to do what I got to do when I got to do it, you know?
Right.
So if something happens, I got to be here, or something comes up, I got to take care of it, no matter what time it is, or no matter, you know.
Right.
So it's kind of like, you know, it's never boring. I don't know if it's like that for you guys, but
yeah,
you know,
there's boring days.
Yeah, I mean,
some of the easy shows get a little easy.
Yeah.
But you take that with the hard shows and
Right.
kind of makes everything.
Yeah, but I guess what I mean, but if I'm bored, I know I'm not going to be bored for long.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
no, totally.
Yeah. I mean, that's a thing to try to keep your energy for a potentially 24-hour shift or something. It's different, you know, and you gotta learn yourself. You know what I mean? Because at some point, energy drinks and things like that, they stop working so well. You know what I mean? You have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your body, and you got to try to eat right. You know what I mean? Or you're gonna have some tough days.
Trying to be healthy in the entertainment industry is definitely a hard thing. It's definitely a big thing that the majority of us go through, because when it's late at night and you're getting off work and you're starving, the only thing open at 2 a.m. might be all right. I guess I'm eating Taco Bell again, but you make up for it.
That's a corner I'm trying to turn right now, is to try and be more natural with how I do it. I know I can do it, but I just need to feed my body right. You know, drink water or sleep when I can.
We're making it sound harder than it is. I think it's been pretty good for that.
It's not the easiest thing, but you do get used to it.
I know. I struggle with that too.
You know, I think we all do. Like right now, if we just got done with work, all I want to do is have a couple Stellas or a Modelo.
Yeah.
You know,
a couple more.
That's not good for you. Right.
Yeah.
That's not good for you.
Yeah. So, so we're getting ready for Tigers opening day tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm
excited.
We got the
It's
Tigers.
my favorite
man.
time of the year, baby.
Those guys were great last year.
Baseball
It was
season.
exciting.
Yeah.
When it came to playoffs, man, they really put on a show for us in the hometown here.
Yeah. Do you guys do a lot of sporting events? Were you around for
That's
Tigers?
a good question. So I actually do Pistons and sometimes Red Wings since the Little Caesars Arena opened up. I've been pretty constant with them. More Pistons than Red Wings. Red Wings is a little bit smaller, a little bit harder to get involved with, but and then also Cam has been pretty involved with the Tigers. Isn't that right?
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't do it all the time. I kind of do it like part-time or like as a fill-in, but I do like the on the field or in the press box lighting. So if you're like seeing a sideline reporter on the field, a lot of times that might be me like holding the light and putting out some equipment.
If there's shadows on the guy, you know who to call and say, what's going on with this interview, kid?
No shadows, right?
If the lighting looks good, let me know. If it doesn't, don't tell me. We'll get it done. But yeah, I mean... It's the sports, I think, to me is the most fun. Like me and him are both big sports guys. We play fantasy football and stuff. So I think that side of the industry is a really cool thing. The video side of sports television or sports streaming now, because it's so kind of complicated. That's always been kind of like what interests me the most, at least recently. You know, that and lighting that I do here now. So
okay, all right,
yeah,
that's cool. Great. So we were talking the other day, and you mentioned that you had a podcast, or
So I mean, I don't even know if you call it a podcast. I'd call it like a trial and error video shoot or something. But I own a Blackmagic Pocket 6K and like a switcher and a couple MacBooks and stuff. So I've tried doing little podcasts with my friends and stuff. But my thing is, especially with our job, our hours, it's like I might schedule to do a video on a Friday night or something, and I got a couple friends, and then all of a sudden like I don't do it the next Friday night because I'm working. So it's really hard to stay consistent. But, it's definitely something that I've always wanted to do. So,
because this is number 10.
Is it really?
Yeah.
We're number 10. That's easy to remember.
Yeah.
No, you guys have a great setup here, man. This is awesome.
And so far, it's been a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, hey, I've been talking to some people around the venue, and they're getting pretty jealous that we're the first sitting here. Yeah, we have some artists in the venue that we're pretty excited about.
Yeah,
maybe getting a chance to sit down
Dre
and
and Ange
talk
up
to.
here one day. Shout out Dre and Ange.
Yeah.
If you guys see this.
Yeah, anytime. That's what I mean. It's just like, it's here. Like we can do this. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
do you think that you'll get back to doing this? Doing podcast?
Yeah, so I mean I have to talk to you guys after we get off because like I don't know, I might have to like rent this room or something. That's the thing too. It's like I carry a super heavy duty tripod and my camera and a ton of cables and the switcher and the computer and lights and a mixer and microphones. So by the time I have it set up, it takes an hour or two to get it set up and go through all the streaming settings, and I got to do it somewhere that's cool looking, or
what was your podcast about?
It was just like a random live call-in podcast, so like people would just call in.
Oh, it was live?
We would do it live on kick.com and Twitch. We were on Twitch for a minute. It was actually doing kind of good for a minute. Like we had I have like 3 or 4 episodes where we had like 600 or 700 like concurrent live viewers. People were calling in from Australia for some reason. Between like 3 and 4 in the morning in Australia, we were like hitting it off big, but it was doing good during that time frame. Yeah. But just not staying consistent with it. I got to get back on it. Because I'd love to have like my own show or something. I've always thought about doing
it's
like
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. Just sitting here talking, and trust me, you can ask Cody. I love to talk. I probably let him talk in like 5 minutes. Huh?
He does.
Yeah.
He just
no podcast for you though. You don't want to.
I would love to. I never thought about what starting it would look like, but I would really like to be on the other side, asking questions and stuff like that. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah. What would your podcast be about?
I don't know. I'd want it to be special somehow, but it need to be something that I would be familiar with. So
interested in, kind of,
It'd probably just be like a lot of the podcasts where it's pop culture, news, sports, just in general, just a reason to talk every day.
Yeah.
I mean, there is niche podcasts, but I would think it would be more of just
niche
in general.
Is that how you say it? Niche?
Yeah.
Niche.
You like that?
You say that word.
Niche.
It's funny.
It's French.
You could call it niche.
Niche.
Yeah, I mean.
Welcome to Niche.
The
Cody.
Niche podcast.
Yeah, you guys met Justin, right?
I just did, yeah.
Video switcher guy,
yeah, I just did for the
fantastic.
Where did we find Justin?
Through Chase.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
all
Chase
right.
brought me in to learn a bunch of audio stuff, and then I ended up being pretty good at this stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
All
awesome,
right,
man.
Justin.
Yeah.
Justin, have you ever thought about working with the union?
Yeah,
I
you want a
did.
job?
I did think about it a little bit. I'm not gonna
Don't
lie.
steal my guys,
What did
man.
you think about
We're
it?
good at that, man.
Hey, it's only a matter of time, Ted. This is where they end
man.
up.
I
man.
did think about putting my name on the list.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. If the footage turns out good, if I sound good, maybe we'll give you a call.
Yeah, you work on those AI
put it in.
filters, right?
That's what I told
a good
Ted
word.
that we were going to be all sweaty and stuff after working today. I was like, can you put some AI filters or something on our face to make us look cooler?
It might be some of those Snapchat filters with you look
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
unicorn or something.
That'd be funny. See?
He
I'd
was
take
hoping
that.
you could edit the footage to make his mustache look less like an eyebrow.
Like an eyebrow. So
yeah,
so
it's
Cody,
just a third eyebrow above his lip.
Cody's really cool.
lip brow.
He's actually he was on his high school's equestrian team all 7 years of high school. So he's a big horse guy.
Not the small horses.
it.
I like the big ones.
I kind of bombed.
7
Usually
years
that
high
one
school.
hits.
Big horse guy.
Usually that one hits. But yeah. How do we get back on track after that?
Nah, we do. We have a lot of fun here.
Chronicles.
The music hall is like nothing else. You
Oh,
know?
no.
And this is coming from someone
Absolutely.
who does regularly work at places, the other theaters in town, the Fox, the Fisher, the Fillmore, Little Caesars Arena. I just love the music hall for what it is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I feel like I can see the director's vision for it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. It's just where people can come to be themselves. You know what I mean? It's not this commercial building where you gotta, you know what I mean?
There's love here.
There
I mean,
is.
there's.
I mean, I love the place.
I wasn't what's the term? I wasn't so keen on believing that at first, but after I've been here almost 3 years now. You've been here what, probably close to 5 or something? Or?
Oh, it's like we talked about. I started after COVID. Obviously, I was doing work here as an extra since 2000, whatever, 8, 7. But
right, but when you became an electrician, that was like 2021 or something? What, 2022?
Yep. It was right after things opened up, right after COVID. And the person who was here actually got a promotion and took over at the DSO as their
Kurt.
lighting director.
I don't know if you remember Kurt at all.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Kurt Henry.
Awesome
Yeah, we love Kurt.
Awesome guy. But what I was getting at is I wasn't such a keen believer right away, but working here for 3 years now, I mean, Vince has been nothing but nice to me every time I'm here and every time I interact with him. So it's really cool to work for a venue that does shows of our size, but you're so close to management. You know what I mean? A lot of times, like at other employers, you're very distant from management. You're working for these,
these untouchables.
Yeah,
right?
these conglomerate companies.
That's what I tell people. It's like most of the time there's layers in between the worker and the director of the venue. But I have direct access to the director. Of course, I try not to bog them down with things. I know that there's people that can.
You walk right up to them and
hey, Vince, we're out of tape. All right, I'll get you some. Hey, we need this. All right, I'll get you some.
Sure,
So
I try to go to Mike for the tape, or I try not to bother Vince
we
about
try
the
not to
tape.
bother Vince all the time, but
sometimes we do.
He'll get it for you, though.
He will.
If he can.
Gotta make the show
He's a busy guy, though. I keep trying to nail him down to be sitting over there for one of these.
We were talking about him a little bit.
Yeah. Can't get him to stand still.
Yeah, one of these days, though.
Sure, and that would be an exciting one. I'm interested to see that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, but this place is like, I mean, it's got this home quality to
yes.
Like when I walk through the doors, I feel safe. I feel love. It just, I don't know. It calls me in, and
it's very genuine here. It feels very genuine. You can feel the personality of the building.
Yeah.
Which, another thing too, I don't know if you guys have talked about it on the podcast
of the building.
yet.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you guys think this place is haunted? Have you had any ghost experiences here? Because I would like to know, because I might be going a little crazy.
Negative.
Yes. You haven't, really?
No.
So the dressing room wing in our building,
the
late
tower,
at night, the towers. I mean, that place gives me the creeps. I don't know, because I'm a big ghost believer. Yeah, I always have been. But so it doesn't scare me, but I definitely
you want to
feel something.
Quick little story?
Yeah, for sure.
I was here one night. It was after hours, and there was, I don't know what, there was a display of banners in the lobby, and I was in the cafe, right? All the doors were shut. Me and this guy were in the cafe. I don't remember, but it was after hours. And this gust of wind from where, I don't know.
Inside the building, there's a gust.
Inside the building,
all right.
knocked down all these banners.
Wow.
Me and this guy freaked out and left.
Wow.
This is a while ago, but it was creepy. And
that is very creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, where'd the wind come from? It's got to be a ghost.
I don't know.
I just wonder, like who it would be. Is it like someone who performed here? Is it like an old stagehand, or like multiple spirits? Who is it?
Everyone I've talked to always says it's Matilda.
Matilda.
Yeah, that's always what I hear.
Yeah, Matilda Dodge Wilson, who built the building.
Yeah, it was made for her.
That's my great grandmother. Wilson, Cam Wilson, Matilda Dodge.
Is it really?
No, but
no. You should have said yes.
That would be sweet. That would explain the history.
Yeah, but it's not a very exciting story, but I mean, it was odd.
Yeah, I don't have anything like particular. I just know that being up in the dressing room wing, like late at night when it's dark, all the lights are off. It's like, all right, I'm running down the stairs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're taking down the Bose system yesterday.
Yeah.
And we had to use the winch to
Sure.
we had to climb up.
We literally just came from there, Ted.
Yeah.
We just edited what was left over to try and get it looking a little better.
Yeah.
And anyway, you were saying?
Yeah, but going up there was even creepy.
It is.
There's all these wells of like empty space. And it was just if I were to film a horror movie, I would go to there.
Right.
Yeah,
all these old buildings have like these unique old rooms and crevices.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. Because we work in all the the Fisher Theater's really old, the Fox, and going up in the ceiling or on the grid or in the What would you even call it? It's not the grid. It's just like in the ceiling, I guess, where the winch
It's
is
just
at.
above the
Yeah.
house, above the architecture
Yeah.
of everything.
Where they have the planks.
Yeah.
Planks
Yeah.
that
He
we're
was
talking about.
walking on a beam earlier. He was way out there walking on a beam. 'Cause
Yeah,
he had
you-
to get out and tighten one of the metal wires. for
So
that.
just so you know, I was right above where that bar sits at the center cluster of the stage. I was out there, and that's actually the first time I've actually climbed off the planks and gone on to all the metal mesh webbing and stuff. And actually, I was pretty comfortable after a second or two. At first, I was thinking, oh man, 100-year-old building. There's no telling where I could step, and I'm gonna be falling 80 feet.
But you can look down those little triangles and see
You
the
can.
seats.
Those are big enough for me to walk through and
I
fall
know.
too. I get a little nervous up there too.
Yeah.
You
We
know?
did a fundraiser years ago where we had Austin Powers come down one of those things.
What?
Yeah, we did this James Bond Austin Powers thing, and he like rappelled down.
I think it was actually Austin Powers, Mike Myers.
No, it was some guy dressed up as that. But
That'd be
Well,
pretty insane.
yeah.
I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was just
yeah,
listening to
yeah.
you. That sounds great. I honestly wish I'd have been here for that because that would have
Yeah.
been an interesting day.
Yeah.
I don't. On a motor? Were they on a motor? And they were
I'm sure they were.
Okay.
It might have been that motor.
You know,
I don't know.
you'd think if you're handling a person, a motor would be the best case. But, just recently, and I didn't do it personally, I heard about it, but Peter Pan at the Fox, he was flying around. That was not done on a motor. That was several people on a rope
Yeah.
off stage, and they lift him, and he flies based on that. And
Wow.
I thought that was interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, it's called a Foy system. There's several different like manufacturers, but like the main one's called Foy, and obviously he knows, but
I don't. What does FOI stand for?
I don't know. It's just called Foy. I don't know actually what Foy.
Like
I think Foy's just the
FOY?
name. Yeah, FOY, I believe is how you say it. But that's like the main manufacturer, and there's a lot of because I was working that show, and it's pretty crazy to see that the routines and the practice that the crew has to go through before every show to make sure that everything's safe enough because you're flying a human being, and
Yeah, sure.
a lot of the actors in the show that are flying are children, so it's a very serious thing, and it's really cool to see because they have specialized track systems that are in the sky and specialized harnesses, and you have like 5 or 6 operators that are counterbalancing the person that's actually flying with a rope, and that's how they fly them. Kind of, it's a little more intricate than the way I'm explaining it, but
Kind of like what they do with the Macy's Day Parade with the.
yeah, kind of,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that stuff's pretty crazy because anytime you're like flying a person, like whenever you go to a concert, I mean that's like a
right.
huge risk. So it's the safety precautions and the practice and like the certifications that go into that kind of stuff is
Yeah.
pretty sweet and spectacular.
That's one interesting thing about stagehanding is technology gets better and better. We're always changing, but at the same time, it's still such a primitive job. Like, it's dangerous.
Right,
like,
we're like the last
Yeah.
cowboy industry. A lot of people
it's
say that.
temporary construction. It's so many things like that. Like I said, it's very dangerous. You need to stay on your toes. You need to be constantly paying attention.
I was just going to ask about that because you got to do like scene changeovers and you got to fly things up and
Yeah.
down.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, and honestly, sometimes the person that's flying that thing up and down cannot see if anybody's underneath it. It's up to everybody to be paying attention. It's up to the performers on stage
Yeah.
to know where they need to be because accidents can happen so quickly.
yeah.
Right.
So is there choreography, I guess, with like whoever's doing that with you guys?
I mean, yeah, like we're all on headset.
Like
and,
beforehand or?
You talking about in terms of like rehearsing it, practicing
Yeah.
it and stuff. Sometimes there is. Sometimes there's not. If the show's smart, they will walk us through it. They will walk us through it in every aspect just to be sure. But sometimes there's no time.
They also
Sometimes
have their own.
they expect us to be the
roadies, too.
professionals that we are.
Yeah.
You have the job. You know what you're doing. Just trust me. When someone says on that headset, it's time, it's time. And you get better as the years go on.
Okay.
You get better at following out cues and.
Because if there's like a piece of set out there and it's got a turn, is that you guys?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I guess I can't say that it's always us. There's so many different ways they could do it. Like I said, if they can get the actors involved, if it's a part of a play, you know what I mean?
Right.
They could do that. But yeah, a lot of times if you see the set changing, that's us behind the scenes making the changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think there was a lot of that in Ruby.
Oh yeah,
It was a play we just had.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great play too. I was on
Yeah.
the light board for that play, so I wasn't like backstage. But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Eric had quite a few. Our propsman, he had quite a few
Yeah.
moves or cues.
Okay, this is interesting. What's a propsman?
So I don't know. It's kind of
Yeah. So
I mean, I could guess, but
right,
I'd
like
probably
props,
be-
properties. We call
So-
it. It's
props is more than just little things you see on stage, right? So when you think of props, you think of all the little things people have in their hands or drinks, whatever the stage has, tables and stuff. But it's more than that. Our propsman, he's in charge of our Marley. He's in charge of
Marley is the floor.
Yes, Marley is a rubber layment that you put on top of the stage to help dancers get more traction, and also it cleans up the look of the stage. I think the traction for the dancers is the main
Mm-hmm.
thing for the Marley to do.
Very
Yeah.
difficult to put down, from what I remember.
it can be.
No, it gets
It can be
easier.
if it's really
It-
cold.
It's
like
been
if it's,
years and years since I
if
had
it's
to
coming
get
out
it
of a
down,
semi
but-
truck and it's like the middle of the winter and it's
Yeah.
freezing cold and it's rolled up, then
If
you
you
gotta,
got a
like, let
good
it warm up
propsman,
for a
it
while.
goes down pretty
Yeah.
easy. Those guys know what they're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
everybody kind of specializes in a couple things. So like to me, Marley's pretty hard, but Eric's really good at Marley.
yeah.
So we let
So
him.
anyway, so it's a propsman is not. They don't do props.
They
Like-
do. They do.
So
Stage
we have
props?
someone that does props.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. One of our
Yeah.
5 guys is our head propsman.
So they have. So say a play's coming through, they bring or they make the props. Or
No,
I don't. I guess I don't
Not
understand.
typically on plays that come through here, they'll make props. Like a propsman on a movie, he'll be more in charge of making them props useful and stuff like that. But a stage propsman is more or less just someone that handles the little knickknacks on the stage. It's
Oh.
there's a lot to it actually. If I sat
I
down
don't
and
know
thought
what-
about it, I could
I don't know what the hell
summarize
I'm
more
thinking
what
of.
they
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
It's kind of like an outdated
Yeah.
term too. Like so much terminology is like
Yeah.
from a long time ago, like when stagecraft kind of first started
Yeah.
going on. But
I follow this
They
guy
do a lot.
online that shows how he does certain props. Like he makes, coffee cups that are unbreakable.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. So I would
you know,
call that
that's
more
like-
like a movie propsman.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
guys
yeah,
are a
yeah.
little bit more in tune with what it takes, with decorum, with what sorts of things would be used in a time period or something like that. Like
Yeah.
that's when props gets at its probably most difficult. But stage props is a little bit easier than that.
Okay. All right. And that's Eric.
Eric Rose.
Eric.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
E baby, call him E.
Baby.
What up, E?
We got nicknames for everybody. Yeah,
Well,
what up,
yeah.
E? I hope
Hey,
you're
hey,
watching,
hey!
E.
We got an E
Yeah,
in the
that's what I was
cafe.
We do.
We do. Eric in the
Yeah,
cafe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, now he.
he's cool too.
He's somewhere sweating right now. I know you
Yeah.
are, E.
We like RE. RE's a good guy.
You gotta have a battle of the E's.
Right, we should. RE used to be a rapper a long time ago. He'll never
It's
admit
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah, he actually describes the time period when he was a rapper as the same time Eminem was going on in a rival crew. When he got, I actually call him Papa Doc. I'm like, so you were Papa
Yeah.
Doc?
We
Like,
have this
you?
conspiracy that he is Papa Doc from 8 Mile.
He won't admit it.
He won't actually admit
Wow.
MCE.
it. Yeah. He's a cool
That's
dude.
fantastic.
Cool guy. He's going to get mad at us.
How
now.
long have you been here, Ted?
I've been here since 1997.
Wow. That was
So-
before I was
28
born.
years, huh?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Did you always have the role you have now?
No, I came in here as they wanted to start a database, and I came in here for database entry.
Really?
I was going to Wayne State and came here part time, just typing in names. People would
Wow.
sign up to be added to a mailing list.
So, but you had to have
Oh.
had a music background, right?
I did. I was a jazz studies major at Wayne State.
Oh.
They knew that I was doing that, going to Wayne for jazz studies. And at that time, Music Hall used to produce the Jazz Festival on Labor Day
I
weekend.
do. I remember hearing about that. Yeah, the actual International Jazz
Yeah,
Fest now
yeah.
started with the music hall. Yeah.
Yeah, it was for Detroit International Jazz Festival
Yeah,
back then.
and it ran alongside another place in Canada or something like that. Was kind of
No, it was the sister festival in Switzerland,
Gotcha.
Montreux.
Montreux.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, back then it was Montreux Detroit Jazz Festival. Yeah. So and I did this database entry in the office that it was seasonal, the Jazz Fest guys that came in. But I shared an office with these guys, so they needed someone to help with like artist relations. So I started doing that.
Oh.
So I started doing that seasonally, and then I started kept pawning me off in like the marketing department one year, development the next, and that just snowballed into.
I mean, that's pretty incredible.
over the
That's a long
years.
time to be with an employer.
Yeah.
So you must enjoy it.
Yeah,
You must like it.
it's the, what did we say? The personality of the building.
Right.
Yeah.
You
The
know?
history, personality.
Matilda sucked me in. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the building chooses us, man.
Yeah, maybe
Oh, that's
Yeah.
creepy.
part of the horror story.
That's real creepy.
So then that
Yeah.
makes it 28 years then, huh, Ted?
Yeah.
Did you just do math in your head? I didn't know you could do that.
You didn't see me with my fingers down here carrying the 2.
That was pretty good, dude. Using
Did
your
you
brain.
carry the 2?
No. There's no 2 carry.
The 1.
What else? I feel like we got so off track for a second, but we
That's
covered
all right.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We're good at that, getting off track.
What's your next gig?
Well, after,
Tomorrow, technically.
Yeah, so, and that's the thing about being a stagehand is you don't typically have a long-term schedule. You know what I mean? You know a week in advance, maybe you know next week in advance, but you really don't know a lot more. Unless you are a department head at a venue, then at least you have a schedule moving forward. But for a lot of our guys, it's week to week. You know, you could pay attention to what the venues have going on, but there's never a promise that you're going to be there. You know what I mean? It's kind of left up to the call steward to divvy up work, to put people where they should be, where they're effective at.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: how many gigs do you have other than music hall? I mean, average. You think?
It's so all over the place, Ted. Like I said, if you look back at last year, we could hardly catch a day off. We had the draft, we had the NFL draft was in Detroit last year.
Oh, right.
We played a big role in that. As well as late in the year, it was political season, so we were really busy with all the visits from Kamala, and she actually came here.
Yeah, she did a spot in the cafe.
Yeah, in our little theater, she came and did something here. Yeah.
You know, she chose the cafe over the theater. You know that,
Really?
right?
Really?
Yeah. She did, because I brought her advanced team. I had to show her the theater, and she's like, "What else you got?" So I took her to the cafe, and she's
I get it. The
fantastic.
theater's got a quaint feel to it. You know what I mean? It's got a lot to look at on the walls. I like that.
I'm sorry, but
No,
go on.
Yeah, it's just about how the range. Like I said, last year we had a really busy year. This year, thus far, it's been a lot of 3 and 4 day weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot more time off, but that's the nature of the business. But you always have the option to seek out more work. You know what I mean? As much as I like being a good union local hand, there's opportunities to go on the road when you have good experience, when you have console operation, skills like Cam does. There's a lot of different ways
That
to
was
make
so
a living
nice, bro.
in this
That
business.
was so nice. Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Don't hit my mic, please.
Thanks, man. That was so nice.
You guys go on the road too, huh?
It's an option.
could, sorry,
I
man,
haven't
but-
never had a chance.
Yeah, I
but
never have either. I think about it a lot. It'd be really cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to consider when you go on the road, depending on like who you're working for, the employer, how long the tour is, what you're doing. So I definitely think it's something I want to do in the future, just to try it out a little bit. But
Yeah, I think, like I said, nobody goes to college for stagehanding to sit at home and be a local stagehand. I mean, people go to
Yeah.
college to go on tour, to see the world, to help out their favorite artists and to make good money. But yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
all right.
Yeah. No.
No.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, baby.
See, maybe we should have like our own like spin-off thing. I was thinking like this, where we have like a satellite video camera, and we go downstairs, like you guys do an episode, and then we go downstairs with like a wireless camera, and it's Cody with like the weather or something, just like 5-minute weather segment.
They just follow us as we stand up. We walk out of the hallway and we just fist fight for
Right.
45 minutes, dude.
Right, and the
Peter
more
Griffin
the
and
more
the chicken.
leprechaun-y his beard looks, the warmer it is outside.
Yeah.
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 I'm sorry, dude. You just said something nice about me, and I.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
So I was gonna ask a best question.
Yes, sir.
And I
Think of it. What is it?
so you said that you sometimes go on the road and you do these other gigs. Because you have a fairly big family, don't you?
I do. I have a son, a daughter, and a wife. I mean, it's regular
You're
average
like
sized.
a family man.
Yeah, I got the whole family, man.
Oh, that's great.
And that's probably what's kept me from going out touring and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've had an offer. I've had a couple offers, decent artists, a lot of our guys around here have been getting a lot more busy, getting busier with it,
Yeah.
with some big artists too. So, but I don't look forward to not seeing my kids every day. You know what I mean? It's a big part of why I do everything I do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make,
Great.
maybe not as much, but just about as much money, if not more, depending on what you're doing, staying at home than going on the road. But typically, like if you get a nice job on the road, the pay might be a little bit better because there's like per diem and you're traveling and you're giving up a lot more because you're going on the road and traveling, most of the year with a company or a production or something. But I mean, depending on your skill set and what you do and where you work and stuff, you can make good amount of money here too.
Yeah,
So
there's good money in the business, man, especially with the union side of it. They've been working hard on it,
So does the union find you jobs?
Oh yeah.
Or
It's a
is
hiring
that how
hall.
it works?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's a referral hiring hall. So, like we're employees of everywhere that we work, but our union hall, looks out for work for us and sends us to different jobs every day. So
Do they contact you and say, "Do you want this job?" or do they?
They do.
yeah,
You
Yeah,
can
pretty
take it or
Right.
not take it.
Yeah, I mean, it typically starts with a phone call. Say Monday morning, you call to the union hall and you say, "Hey, this is Cody Cohoon, and I'm available Monday through Sunday." And then you kind of sit and wait, and they'll give you a call. "Hey, we got something Tuesday, we got something Thursday. Are you available?" Like, yes, no,
Okay.
And that's how it goes. I have heard that they may get in a more automated system, but that's kind of how things are right now. You got to
Okay.
answer your phone.
yeah, we're kind of always on call in a little bit of an aspect.
The best
like-
ability is availability.
Yeah.
Right. But the cool thing about our job, right, is we work a lot most of the time, and we stay pretty busy. But we're one of the only jobs out there too, because it's not like a normal 9 to 5. Where like he wants to go to Florida next week, with his family, he can just take off work. Like as long as us as department heads don't have a show going on here, or like we don't have some big job or a large money opportunity that we don't want to miss, or something going on, we could, get up and go on vacation or, pretty much take time off whenever we want. But obviously, if you're not working, you're not making money. So you try
Yeah.
to stay busy and work. But,
Yeah.
No work, no money.
Right.
Yeah. So you can look at the music hall season and know.
Yeah,
Sure.
kind of
Yeah.
schedule your
Schedule.
life a little bit around it. It's
Yeah.
pretty
But
cool.
everything else is day to day or week to week.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of it, yeah.
Yeah. All right, man.
Kind of cool. You're a cool dude, Cody.
Hey, thanks.
Your name's
man.
Cody,
Not
right?
so bad, Cam.
man.
Cam, I think one of the things that has
What?
always got us smiling, what
Yeah.
I mean, is that we're alike in a lot of ways. Like
See, he's doing this weird thing with his face right now.
I'm 35, right? And I haven't really met a lot of people that I thought
And he's
reminded me of
24,
myself.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
25.
It's like and in life I have not found a lot of people that remind me of myself. But then here comes Cam, and I see so much of myself. It's just this confidence.
Thank you, I think.
Yeah.
No, man.
All right. Now you say something nice about him.
Do it.
No,
There you look.
Cody's a great guy, man. He's been a great boss. We have great times here. Honestly, I think our biggest issue is that we don't have more shows here.
Yeah.
If we worked,
Yeah.
more here, life would be even better than it is. You know what I mean? So, I don't know who we got to call, Ted, but
Who you gotta call?
we got to book more shows in the music hall, and we'd be here every day.
We're just kind of relaxing, man, because we know that we have a new venue coming up, and we're gonna be working
Yeah.
so much coming up here.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
You're gonna be double
Ooh.
Have a brand new podcast room in there.
the money.
That'd be sick.
Oh yeah.
That'd
I
be
think
real
about
sick.
that.
I'm gonna try to reserve that before you guys.
Yeah. Oh.
What do you think
Don't
about the
do
new
that.
venue, Ted?
Oh, I'm excited.
You're gonna be around, right? You're not going anywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Is there gonna be a cafe in the new venue?
I was just gonna ask that same
Is there a
question.
second venue? Smaller venue in there?
Confidential information.
Yeah, confident.
Is it? All right.
Or just upgrade the cafe as it is.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing that I've been thinking about is this new venue, is it going to take away from my love of the old venue? Is it
So this venue's not going anywhere.
it's not going anywhere,
Yeah.
right?
You know,
like you'll love the new one more than the old one.
There's a
Right.
chance. That's definitely possible.
Who knows? This place is so great, though. You know, it's
It is.
No,
Like
this
I
room
said,
is really spectacular too, guys. It's pretty cool sitting here. You guys keep doing this
in
all the
here,
time. Yeah.
the podcast
Yep.
studio. I was thinking that I think it needs a little of the old school, like, music hall venue, like, you know, something.
yeah.
You know,
Something
I don't
to
have a
look at.
lot. Like,
I mean, I like it.
now I got
I like
this
the
isn't
drape.
really music hall,
I feel
but
like my head's been in this tree the whole
Got Vince
time.
bobblehead
I'm
back
becoming
here.
one with the tree. But
you look like Sideshow Bob.
we'll work on that. No, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool, man.
So this is actually from an old. We had a fundraiser where they had like chorus girls. They had like a little they were wearing a styrofoam hat, and these were in the styrofoam hat, and she had this giant tower sign
Really?
on her hat.
So is that
That's
how
pretty sweet.
it looks on the roof as well? Is that how it's
Yeah,
displayed?
that's what the main
I'm
one
pretty
looks
sure.
like
Yeah?
outside.
Nah, well, maybe the old one. You know,
Yeah.
Isn't it? That's what the sign on the roof looks
I
like.
think it's all vertical
Yeah.
outside, isn't it? Isn't the
No.
hall
So-
also vertical?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because
I
I'm
feel like
looking at
looks-
it and
I
it
feel
looks
like that's it.
familiar. Like I'm thinking, that's what the roof looks like?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's what's outside. I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a sign like that out there. I just don't. I think the hall's vertical. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Or
I
it
feel like
says
that would
hall.
look weird. That'd be different.
What, like all vertical?
Yeah.
No, no,
Am I
no,
wrong?
no.
Maybe. Like I said, I know it looks familiar.
Yeah, but I think it needs more like that 1928 decor in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Personality.
because I did have the old curtains from the boxes, you know, because we got new curtains.
Yeah.
What was that, like a year ago?
Yeah.
I had that in here for a minute, but they were all kind of like ripped and torn and
Sure. That's why we had replaced
kind
them.
of stunk.
Yeah.
But I don't know what. If you get any ideas.
No, you guys are doing the right thing, man. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's been a ton of fun.
Yeah, maybe we'll come on again, like be episode
Absolutely.
100 or something.
Yeah.
Maybe you can bring some props.
Yeah, we should. That'd be sweet.
Sure. Yeah.
Or the prop master. What's his title?
Eric. Yeah.
Eric, yeah,
Propsman.
yeah,
Propsman.
head propsman,
I almost said puppet master.
properties, head of properties.
Head of property. All
He's a
right.
cool guy.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, Ted. I'm really glad you decided to make something out of this.
I'm glad you guys did this.
We're excited.
So-
I was a little nervous at first. We just got
Yeah.
off work. We're like, what are we going to talk
Yeah.
about?
Oh
Like,
man.
Unlike him, this is my first podcast, so thank you guys very much for
Oh,
being here
really?
with us. Yeah, I haven't had the time or the camera, I guess.
Me and him have been talking about doing a podcast for a long time with my equipment.
Yeah.
And, just like putting it on stage or doing something here, but just the time where like you work a 14, 16-hour day and you're all sweaty and you don't want to. Oh, can I swear? I'm sorry. I don't know
No.
if I-
Yeah.
It's gonna cost you.
Censor
can-
button.
It gives me
Censor.
something to do now. I can bleep it.
Right.
In-
Bleep,
in
that'd
po-
be so cool.
I
I've
can
never
bleep
been
it in
bleeped
post.
before.
Yeah, make like 6 bleeps. Make it look like he just went.
Yeah, just
Quick.
start
Yeah.
sweating.
Too casual.
Just-
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
I was trying to be too chill.
yeah.
But yeah, me and him have talked about it a lot, so it's kind of cool we're doing this because
Yeah,
we've been
I
wanting
think,
to do it.
like I was saying earlier, I think because he reminds me so much of myself when I was younger. We both have a flair for this sort of thing. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just want to be involved in a spotlight in a show. I think that's what brought me to being a stagehand in general. Is my love for performance. I tried to get into acting and stuff like that, and it's not easy. You know what I mean? I always assumed natural ability would take over, and I'd always have a leg up, like a lot of things in life. I just take things, but acting's tough.
Oh yeah.
To be a character, I find you gotta have these little things that make this character. You know what
There's
I
a
mean?
lot going on in your head.
There is.
when
That's my thing. Is that I gotta shut off inside my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stop talking to myself and get out of it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's difficult. I took an acting class in college, and it was fun, and it was,
A lot of fun.
but it was difficult
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah. So
Well, you went from acting classes to potty training classes, right? That's
it was
doing
the other way
now?
around. I was potty training, and then I was acting.
Okay.
Like I was
That's
potty
what I thought. I was
acting
looking at my
like
phone
yes.
for a second.
acting like I was
Six-
potty trained.
Usually you have potty training classes at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
What is today, Thursday?
Oh,
He's
Thursday
still,
night
yeah.
potty
Yeah,
training.
yeah. You know, I did some acting courses at Wayne State.
That's where I took mine. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a couple with Blair.
No, with Jim.
Okay, because there's one particular teacher who had been around along, and I kind of caught the end of his reign. I thought maybe you caught the beginning, but
When was this?
when did Little Caesars Arena open up?
2017, I think.
2017? Yeah,
I think 17 is when it opened, yeah.
I think 2016, 2017 is when I was enrolled
Oh,
into the school.
so it's not the Blair.
Yeah, you know, it's just tough.
Yeah.
I-
So, have you done anything else like performing arts?
I have not.
No instruments?
No,
No.
no, and I really wish I could. I kind of need to find more resources to get onto it. You know,
You write at all?
don't really do anything right now. I'm just busy. I got a family. I got a job.
What kind of music you listen to?
I like a range of music. I grew up as a hip hop guy, and my dad was a alternative rock kind of person. I actually find myself liking a lot of different types of music for the feelings it creates in you. I like the happy feeling that a country song can give me. I like the adrenaline kind of anger that a hip hop song kind of gives me. You know, there's like focus and adrenaline in the kind of music that, you know, and I like all musics for what they make me feel. I try to let them make me feel that way.
All right. What about you?
I'm sorry, that was a very deep answer to
Bluegrass? You still do
what
bluegrass?
kind of music do you like?
I thought you were about to cry.
Everything touches me. I love it. No, yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat too. I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop. I listened to, I like in middle school and high school, I listened to like a lot of Detroit, like street rap, like local artists and stuff. But I listen to I like alternative rock. I listen to a little bit of country. I love classic rock growing up in the business, and my dad being like a big Beatles fan and John Lennon and like John Denver is probably one of my favorite artists of all time. But then I like switch it up. And, like,
So you were
huge
excited when
contrast.
we had the tribute, right?
Oh
the
yeah,
John
yeah,
Denver
yeah.
tribute.
And that
here,
guy
yeah.
was, I forgot what his real name was, but that guy
I
was
don't
really
remember.
cool. He was a really nice guy. He was talking to us and hanging out with us for a minute, and he
Yeah.
sounded good. And yeah, so that was definitely cool. The Simon and Garfunkel thing too that we had, like
Missed
that
that.
was like 2 years ago
I
or
wanted
something. I
to
think
see
maybe it
that,
wasn't that
yeah.
long ago. That was really cool too.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been lucky to do some really interesting shows.
Yeah. Have you ever worked a show, like a music show, and then like gone home and like looked up the artist, like maybe you didn't know
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
because you liked it so much?
I try
yeah.
to do it
yeah. Or you
leading
just
up
don't
to
know
it,
him.
you know?
Oh,
Like,
to like
yeah, like
prepare?
who is this?
Yeah.
Why is this person here? You know, what did they do?
yeah.
So, but yeah, there's sometimes like a couple years ago we did Jersey Boys, and I got to tell you, all the songs in that Jersey Boys show stick in your head. It makes me wonder what were these people doing? You know, the play kind of tells the story very well for you. But
Yeah. I remember
yeah,
that.
it happens.
Yeah, it was one of my first days here. Actually, that's like right when I started working here was Jersey Boys. It was about 3 years ago.
Was that 3 years ago?
Yeah, might have been a little over 3 years ago.
That
We
was
had it
over.
a couple times then because we did it in conjunction with an event. I don't know if you were here for that. We did
When we did it for 2 weeks, when Jersey's Boy was here.
we had I don't know if it was Cars and Stars or
Oh,
no, it wasn't Cars.
when's the last time we did Cars and Stars? It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a staple for the venue here.
Sometimes when I think of the events that we do here, I get all kind of like
Yeah, Ted, that's another thing.
you know,
man, is they all start to blend together.
I know.
The conversations, the people, the job itself, you kind of
Yeah.
just like washes away. It's a new day. What are we doing today?
I know.
Yeah, the starstruck wears off after so many shows.
Oh
you
yeah,
know, it's
I
like
don't do
when,
that.
When you first start working, you're
You
like,
know,
wow,
it's a bummer that more artists don't come and talk to us. I got to say, 17 years I've been here, and I've been kind of annoyed that more artists don't pop up, say hi, say thank you. You know, it's not as common as you would think. There's only one artist to ever come off stage and take a picture with the whole crew. Can you guess who it was?
How
That
recent?
was recently, wasn't it?
No, it's over 10 years ago.
Oh.
no.
And it was just one artist to ever come off stage and say, hey, I want to take a picture with all the local crew. Let them know I appreciate it. And I always thought it ironic because it was Stevie Wonder.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like what? One guy comes off stage and says, let's get all this crew together. Let's get a picture with them.
Where was that?
At Joe Louis Arena, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, and so every year it comes across the timeline, you see it, and you're like, look.
Do you remember Detroit 300? It was like the 300th celebration of Detroit.
I know like all the 313 days and stuff.
No,
but
it was like the big thing on Hart Plaza. I forget what year it was. Stevie Wonder rehearsed here, and it was fantastic. I just sat in the mezzanine and watched and watched and watched.
That'd be incredible,
He was
man.
hysterical.
Like Dionne Warwick. That was like
Hmm.
yeah,
probably
it's
like
a big
one of my
artist.
first like 20 shows I've ever done on the lighting board, and that was like pretty incredible because she's probably, I don't even know, she's got to be damn near close to 80, right? Or she is 80 or 82 or something like that. And
Something
she,
like that, yeah.
Sounds incredible. The Motown, we're so lucky to have a lot of the Motown music and the history when it comes to that type of music that we do here, because it's pretty incredible and underrated for sure. So
Yeah, I think we take it for granted sometimes
I know.
because it's so close.
Right.
I mean, you
Yeah.
know, and you hear it about it all. You hear about it all the time.
Right.
I mean, it's like, so. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for doing this.
yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you,
This is
Ted.
awesome.
And,
It's been really fun. man.
Yeah, and we'll have you back.
That'd be
Yeah.
sweet. Really.
Ah,
We'll be a little
thanks.
bit more prepared next time too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why be prepared?
I think we did good. Did we
It's
do
what it
good?
is.
We can
Yeah, we're
ad-lib.
fine. I think you
Yeah.
talked a little too much,
Do you
but
think so?
yeah.
Were you guys able to fit his whole face in the camera frame? Did it? I feel like I've been like my head's been in the tree the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah.
Can I
The
take this
tree.
with me?
Does the tree get closer to his face every time he goes?
I got sinuses, dude. I got the sniffles.
Are you allergic to the fake?
The fake
Plant.
plants.
He's allergic to anything fake, man. He's so real. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I keep it real. I hate.
Yeah, keep it
I was
real,
about to
man.
swear again. I stopped myself.
You can bleep it.
Really? Could I do one just for the bleep?
Sure, please do.
What?
No, that's pretty cool. No, I appreciate it, Tyler.
All right.
I
Yeah,
really
this
do.
is
And
fun, man.
Justin, right?
Yep, Justin.
Appreciate it, man. Where's
Yeah.
Chase at? Where did he go?
He's
we
guarding
don't.
the door,
We
huh?
don't let him in here.
You make too much
Monitoring
noise.
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got a cool setup, and
Yeah.
appreciate it.
All right. Cody Cohoon, Cam Wilson, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Ted.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks.
Woo.